Hi everyone, I'm Zan, your astrologer, and welcome to your midweek astrology update, taking a look at the present moment astrological influences and also the very powerful and mystical new moon in the sign of Pisces taking place on the 13th of March 2021. We have a very active sky playing out even in this present moment where the energies can feel extremely dual, but perhaps not necessarily in a contradictive way, because we have this very, very strong, almost drowning, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually drowning and overwhelming Pisces energy. And at the same time, we also have four planets in the sign of Aquarius, which is also very dominant energy. And even though these energies on the large scale do work hand in hand, basically they are encouraging us, inspiring us for our greatest good, for our futures, as in Saturn, the Moon, Jupiter, and Mercury in Aquarius. That is all about the future, and especially the practical, mental, rational, and logical side. Everything that we have to do, accomplish, including communication, paperwork, official matters, plans, projects, etc., in order to us to achieve progress. So all of these things are definitely emphasized in our lives, and we are invited to work, perhaps sacrifice, invest our energy and all of our effort into this, because that is one of Saturn's symbolisms. And at the same time, of course, we still have the ongoing square between Saturn and Uranus, the two ruling planets of Aquarius. So that means that on a large scale, whatever it is that we're doing right now, whatever is happening in our lives, the theme is out with the old and in with the new. We are trying our hardest to adapt ourselves to the world changes, to how it impacted our lives, and naturally find our new, improved, better sense of normality where we can feel grounded in the present moment, regardless of how very quickly external elements, rules and regulations, legislations, etc. change. So this part of the energy is very grounded, it is very realistic, it is very down to earth. So basically, like it or not, we all have to work with this. But the Piscean energy, where we have Venus, the Sun, and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, and very soon the Moon is going to leave Aquarius and join Pisces, that is almost like a totally different dimension, which has absolutely nothing to do with down-to-earth matters, real life. It is basically the world of the soul, our unconscious minds, the distant past, karma, our dreams, fantasies, everything that goes on deep within our souls, especially when the moon is going to join the party there. And as I said earlier, this doesn't necessarily represent a contradiction or a conflict or anything like that, but the two different feelings, the duality of this, existing and having to live profoundly and deeply in two different dimensions, the mental dimension and basically the down-to-earth dimension, Aquarius, and also the dimension of the soul, the spirit, faith, deep within ourselves. That is a totally different layer and nuance of this energy. So where I'm trying to go with this is that it doesn't have to be a contradiction or conflict between these two layers of energies for it to feel uncomfortable, or, for us to experience big, big extremes at the same time. Now, the Aquarian part of this energy is quite simple. It is progress, it is momentum, it is us having to make important choices, decisions, follow-up communication, do paperwork, do legal stuff, sign contracts. It is also very good for business. It is very good for reaching out to new customers, clients, or vice versa. You finding the professionals or the professional help that you need with anything. It is also really good energy because Aquarius represents our friends, our social connections. So help, good advice, clarity can come from there. And let's not forget that Mercury, the planet of mind and communication, is also going out of shadow, which means that everything that confused us, everything that wasn't very clear, or maybe everything that was contradictory information, legal paperwork wise, that we might have experienced on the 2nd of February or in the very first days of February. Now all of those matters are finding clarity, resolution, etc. And also we have a trine between Saturn and Mars, Mars being in the sign of Gemini, which also means communication, getting things done, maybe rewards from the past, maybe very, very good professional reputation, or any kind of reputation benefiting you. Gemini is also siblings and people who are very, very close to us, almost like brothers, sisters. So it can be someone who fits that profile, who lends us a massive help, or maybe it is us who are helping. But this trine between Mars and Saturn is just at the very beginning. It's not going to be perfect until somewhere around 22nd of March, if I'm not mistaken. So basically later on in March, so that can still be a build-up of energy, crescendo. But the thing is, it's very, very beneficial. It's good for work. It's good for communication. It's good to get things done in a very down-to-earth manner. And this is where communication, the internet, help, or anything coming from the local community, society, even institutions, etc., is all a positive element in this picture. So this is quite a really beneficial influence, and it's also confidence, it's also courage. It's also being able to stand up for ourselves and just say, communicate, express delicate things, perhaps. And let us not forget that the sign of Gemini is going to be an active element of May's eclipse. So Mars is the activator, of course, and this can give us a hint, this can give us an inspiration or an outlook of what we can expect to play out in our lives, or where things are going around May this year, but of course extending to late December. But this might not be the most important celestial picture of the present moment, because as I said, this energy is at the very beginning, so it will meet a crescendo, it will get stronger, it will be more influential, and of course I'll be here to talk about this as we go along. In the present moment, right now, we have a really powerful celestial conversation where the Sun meets Neptune in the sky, both of them at 20 degrees of the sign of Pisces. Now this is the energy of dreams, this is the energy of illusion, this is also the energy of transcendence, altered state of consciousness, when our unconscious minds, when the world of the soul, when our emotional worlds are extremely active. And what this energy is very beneficial for, well, the Sun is the light of our consciousness, and since Neptune is the illusion of life, so everything is in life is an illusion, everything is just a subjective perception. We cannot actually say that outside of our perceptions anything is real, and that is Neptune. So the Sun sheds its light on Neptune, giving us the chance to make what we want with the illusions of life, and also to much better understand ourselves, to understand where it is that we need to work with the power of illusion and subjectivity. There are illusions which are definitely unhealthy. For example, self-victimization, unable to forget certain traumas, painful moments, unable to forgive a certain person for what they have done. When we are filled with self-defeating thoughts, pains, hurts, or basically it can also take the shape and form of everything that we desire may not be rooted in our souls, in who we truly are, in the very core of our beings. So perhaps certain desires, certain dreams, certain things in our lives are conditioned, are just projected onto us, and we do think they are real, so they might have a very big impact on us. For example, everything that we picked up from education, from other people, everything that was basically forced upon us from society to desire, to want, to act in a certain way, what is normal, what is the standard, what is acceptable, how we should live our lives, what is healthy and what is not healthy. The light of the sun can just shine truth upon all of this, basically giving us the power to filter it out and just discard everything that basically means nothing to our souls, means nothing to our hearts, and focus on all those things that do mean a lot to us personally. And these things don't have to be rational or logical whatsoever. This can be everything that we just love without necessarily having a very logical and rational explanation. This energy is highly mystical, so today and tomorrow expect dreams, expect altered state of consciousness, expect your intuition going full blast and I don't even know if this word exists or not, but over-guiding you, as in guiding you so much that you get lost. You don't even know what to pay attention to, what is real and what is not. You know, the sign of Pisces is also the very distant past. So this can also be remembering loved ones who are no longer with us. For some people, it can also be, like a sensation, a feeling of mourning, remembering those people who were really special in our lives, just instinctual desire to send them love and good wishes. This also is like an inner wake-up call to go within ourselves, to embrace sacred solitude and just spend time with ourselves, to explore the inner world, to explore our dreams, to explore our most sacred desires. It is a really good time for meditation, for prayers, to focus on our dreams, even our fantasies. It is an absolutely wonderful energy for artists, for those who are on any spiritual journey, for psychologists, equally beneficial for psychoanalysis, for therapy, for healing, for detox, for quitting addictions, for removing unhealthy unconscious programmings. Basically, this is a period of pure magic where the spirit, where the divine is more alive. And I do actually think that this is the best word possible. It is actually alive in everything, alive inside of us, alive in everywhere we look, the plants, the trees, the weather, the clouds, other people, even inanimate objects. So naturally, for those people who are, interested in all of this and have this lifestyle, you need no further explanation. You know what you have to do. You know what a wonderful opportunity this is to just connect to spirit, connect to yourself, connect to your art, connect to your soul. And because this is leading up to the new moon on the 13th of March, new moon is always a new beginning. And in the sign of Pisces, it can be, for example, a karmic new beginning, where you start with a clean, fresh page. It can be a wonderful celestial empowerment where you simply transcend, where you become more as a soul, where you reach a new or next stage of your enlightenment, where your spiritual evolution takes you to the higher level, to the next milestone, so to speak. So for a lot of people, this will be like being reborn, just that it is also very cloudy, it is also very misty. You might not have full control over this and not even be aware of when it takes place. The only thing that you will be able to tell is that you feel so very, very different, almost like you are a new you, but nothing related to your identity, your ego. You just feel different inside, and that different is definitely something positive because it's deeper, it's more divine, it is more spirit, it is more soul. And also, a new moon is pure creational energy. It is the philosopher's stone. It is when the sun and moon, the divine masculine and feminine expressions of the cosmos, join forces and create a fertility. So if there ever was a time to meditate and plant seeds of intentions, and with the energy of Pisces, to truly dream big. And this is where it doesn't have to be just for yourself. Pisces is empathic. Pisces is to share it with the world. So this is where you have a lot of positive influence for other people, your loved ones, people who you share your karmic path with, or the world in general. At this time, whatever you do, please dream big and just put all your passion, all your inner fire into your dreams, even if it's just a fantasy. Now, naturally, don't have any expectations, don't attach anything to it. Just know that the universe will take those seeds of intentions, regardless of how impossible they may seem, regardless of how unrealistic they are, and it will try its very best to align it to a manifestation. And Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius and Saturn in the sign of Aquarius is also very supportive of this, because Jupiter is faith and the power of belief, where Saturn is the lord of karma and manifestation. It will find a way to allow what you desire to enter physical reality. And of course, Aquarius is the house of hopes and dreams, so the future. So this is a strong synergy between these two signs. So this was basically the more positive, uplifting, magical, dreamy, artistic side of this energy. But like everything, naturally it has a downside. And perhaps it is the downside which is quite, I don't want to use big words, but it can be a little bit dangerous right now. And not necessarily just because of the Neptune-Sun conjunction, not even the Neptune new moon, Sun and Venus conjunction on the 13th of the month, but also because there is a minor astrological influence which is in the background, where at the same time Chiron, the wounded healer, all of our wounds and pains in the sign of Aries, so it is in our gut, it is in our instinct, it is in our genes, it is deeply, deeply rooted, meets Ceres asteroid of nourishment in the sky at the same time. Now, why is this very important? Well, it is important because all this Piscean energy and this big conjunction and the new moon makes us extremely susceptible, open to psychological influences, and basically it opens the hidden door to the unconscious minds. And if at the same time we are being reminded of our wounds, Chiron conjunct Ceres, well, for some people this will be sheer melancholy. This will be almost like drowning in the world of emotion, where the big danger is escapism. Now, escapism in its most favorable form, like for example, reading a really, really inspirational book that you love, watching your favorite movie, playing your favorite computer game, and just being there in that world of fantasy and feeling good, feeling inspired. Or let's say having a couple of glasses with your friends and just laughing, just feeling okay and detaching from everyday problems. Or naturally it can be any other substances or even spiritual techniques, for example sleep deprivation or similar ways which allow one's mind to detach from physical reality and enter into an altered state of consciousness. Now, its positive side, when done with measure, when done with a sacred purpose, for example, healing, etc. Now, naturally, it can be beneficial. It goes hand in hand with this energy. It is super helpful. It can truly take you to another level. But if used in excess, or if used just to escape reality, if used to escape the pain, well, it can be extremely dangerous because this Venus in the sign of Pisces has no limit. You won't know where the line was drawn. You don't know where it's healthy or it's unhealthy. And it can lead to physical harm. For example, if it's substances or alcohol, it can lead to overdose. If it's like a fantasy, like a computer game or a fiction or book or whatever, you might suffer a period where you're just sucked into that fantasy world and you won't know what reality is anymore. So be very, very careful with these. Have limit. Know where the limit is. Do this in a self-disciplined way. Now, yet another dangerous part of this energy. If our psychological deep soul wounds are not looked at, so we are ignorant of those, or we just repress them, we just sweep them under the rug forever and keep on doing and doing this energy can just trigger them, and this can give us a sensation of extreme self-loathe. It can also turn to true self-victimization, where this energy is so strong that we can amplify everything, for example, that might have disadvantages in life and turn it into a massive, massive drama, and that can lead to a mental breakdown. Pisces is also the sign of the martyr. It is also a sign of the self-sacrificial tendencies. And if this is combined with illusion or with an unstable psychological state, this can truly lead to self-harm. So be very, very, very careful. The voices or whatever you might perceive, especially those which guide you to not to love yourself or to hurt yourself, or that you are unworthy, or whatever tricks the mind can invent, that is not real. Know without a shadow of a doubt that is not you. It is not real. Do not follow it. And if you feel overwhelmed, there is help out there. Call a friend, call a hotline, go to a specialist, talk to anyone who can support you. Do not make it real. Do not give power to it. Know that the sign of Pisces is dual. Just look at the glyph of the Pisces, the two fish. It can be anything that you want. You can be in control of this. As I said earlier, everything in life, everything in existence is really just an illusion. So make what you want of it and know that you have a choice. The choice is always in your hands. So choose to love yourself. Choose to dream your well-being, your happiness, everything that you deserve, for the simple fact that you are here on earth, that you are incarnate, that you were born, that you were gifted with life, that already makes you worthy of everything good life can give us. So use this principle, use this self-love, not to allow the negative expression of this energy to overwhelm you. And if, Chiron, the wounds, everything that hurt you, maybe when you hurt yourself, maybe when you made all the wrong choices and decisions, maybe when you sacrificed much more of your time, energy, love, heart, etc. than you were comfortable with, well, forgive yourself. The reason why it hurts is because your inner child, Aries, wants you to forgive, wants you to embrace yourself, wants you to finally accept and forgive. The pain surfaces not to torture you, but to remind you that you need to forgive yourself and that you need to love yourself back. Back to good health, back to happiness, back to being able to function. And yet another important side of this energy, sometimes, the problem is there revealed by the stars, as I said, the wounds. But the solution is also there. Now just think about Ceres and her symbolism. She is the goddess of agriculture. Ceres is where the word cereal comes from, ultimately. So what does that involve? Well, it involves that agriculture is not just about planting. That is only a minor part of the deal. The care, the nurture, protecting the crops from, parasitic animals, parasitic plants, when there is a drought, going out there and nurturing, watering everything. That is also part of the deal. So Ceres, as in the astrological influence of Ceres, also tells us how to heal our wounds, how to help that Chiron, and that is self-nurture, nurturing our souls, taking care of ourselves in every way possible, both spiritually, psychologically, mentally, and physically. Just imagine, if a couple has a baby and they neglect it, well, that is against the law. So the baby will definitely be taken away from them, and they might even, maybe go to prison or whatever. But the same thing is almost literally true from a karmic perspective. Life was given to you, into your hands. You are the owner, so you have to take care of it. You have to nurture it. You may not neglect your life, yourself, your well-being, because if you do, well, you are not a very good gardener, so you can only harvest whatever survived your own neglect. So this celestial conversation tries to responsibilize us, especially regarding, psychological and soul level wounds. You can go to an astrologer, you can go to a psychologist, you can go to a therapist, you can go to a priest, you can go to any kind of specialist who offers healing and help. But ultimately, you are the one healing yourself, no one else. And regardless what anyone tells you, no one in the universe, no human being can take this burden off of you. Not even the divine, not even the universe. Everything can just help you, support you, guide you, but it is you who are doing the healing, and there is no way around this. So healing only happens if you desire it, want it, and work towards it with all your heart, with every fiber of your being. And when that desire is born in your heart, well, that is exactly when your Chiron activates and you become your own healer, and one way or another you will attract everything that you need to heal, to help you heal, to catalyze your healing. May that be a person, a book, or spirit, or anything into your life. And with this celestial conversation, with Ceres the nurturer being part of it, whatever it is that you do, It will feed your soul. It will nurture you. It will make you stronger. It will make the healing process that much quicker. Or if you've already healed and it is just a reminder of your wound, it will invite you to share whatever you have done for yourself with others, to be a healer in the lives of others. And this doesn't need to be official, like as in start a career. This can be the best friend, be the best child, best parent that you can possibly be, and heal others with your love, with your care, with your empathy, and sharing your own experiences. There is also a really tricky part of this energy, which might not really have to do with wounds or anything that represents a past pain or anything like that. Because Ceres, the nurturer, and Chiron can also create a very strong, almost irresistible sense of longing, sense of desire, sense of wanting whatever makes you the happiest on a soul level, to have it in your life right now, to live it right now. Because the sign of Aries, well, that is basically right now, not tomorrow, not in 2 weeks, now. So for some people, this can lead to a little bit of impatience, where the desire is so strong, where you may dream about it, fantasize about it, feel it. Everything might remind you of your deepest desires, and of course that will fuel you a lot to want to live it. It doesn't necessarily matter what nature that desire has, as long as it comes from your soul. So my advice is, well, on one hand, this energy is magnetic. Let's not forget that Venus is in the sign of Pisces, and there is a karmic power to her expression there. So she might attract it from places, sources, ways in which we can't even dream of. But if the desire becomes very strong, like overwhelming, you need to self-discipline, you need to control yourself. Because even the sheer fact that you are feeling it so intensely, as I repeat, no matter what that desire is, that means that it's already part of your future, part of your soul, part of your karmic journey in this life. So you are gonna get it when the timing is right. So don't stress, don't consume yourself, and don't let this very, very strong desire drive you insane. And finally, last but not least, Venus conjunct Neptune, the Sun, the new moon. Well, that is all about love, isn't it? And especially Pisces is karmic connections, that big fated love, soulmates, twin flames, whatever you call these kind of relationships. So some of us might be dreaming about love, dreaming about that very special person day and night. This might be the only thing on our minds. This might invade every single moment of our present. And naturally, this is a very strong desire and longing as well, but one which is almost magical, unconditional. We just want fate to finally align us, to get us where we need to be, in order to have that divine union, for us to feel complete on a soul level, and that very special person as well. Well, what I can tell you is, this new moon is definitely a very good opportunity to plant the seed of intention, to pray, to focus, to meditate, to do whatever it is that you can do spiritually to try and align to that reality where you're already together. But even with this, don't have any expectations, because true love and a true, honest and authentic relationship, that means that both of you have to be ready. And sometimes to be ready doesn't even depend on the person. Maybe they have to, solve something with their families. Maybe they have to sort out their material lives. Maybe they have to relocate. Maybe they have to find, I don't know what kind of inner truth or whatever, so it's very complicated. But if there is a moment when you can actually do something about it, well, this is the moment, because think about it this way. Fated connections, well, they are fated, so they depend on divine timing. But through planting those seeds of intentions and investing your desire, the universe can just take that energy, and instead of manifesting it the way you want, it can just lend it as a help to that other person, to your fated lover or whatever, to solve their problems quicker. And if that person is doing the same, dreaming of you or whatever, their energy can enter your life and help you with whatever it is that you need help, even if it's just being patient. So in conclusion, know that this is a very dual period. It is both fantasy but also down to earth things happening at the same time. It is going to be a time where all of us are very, very busy. We might be overwhelmed with communication, especially, business-wise, socially, our friends, family, etc. Mars in Gemini. And of course, all that Aquarian planets, and very soon an erratic Mercury. So that is an overflow of information, communication, which of course in itself it's nothing. It is actually quite good, because we do need this. We need it a lot. Because last year in 2020, Saturn in Capricorn caused so much stagnation, caused so much standstill blockages, and we do need to, magic that away from our lives. But it might be very difficult to focus, to process, not to overthink, to stay grounded in reality, because this Piscean energy and because of the psychological element. So my advice is, whenever the communications and real life matters enter your life, focus on that only. Forget dreams, forget fantasy, forget soul and spirituality. And then when you have, a part of your day when you can spend time with yourself, or are not really working or focused on everyday issues or real life matters, then you can allow all these feelings and even illusions, fantasies to set in, and you can just alchemize them. But please remember, the main message of the sky this week is nurture yourself, forgive others, forget the past, and just be love. Even if you are someone who is going through the hardest expression of this energy, just think about Aquarius, community, people, humanitarianism, and Pisces, empathy, compassion, understanding, unconditional love. You are not alone, not physically, not spiritually. If there was ever help out there, that's definitely that time is now. So if you reach out, I can almost guarantee that someone will listen and someone will help. Well, this concludes today's horoscope. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this was useful. Thank you everyone for your lovely comments and also for your generosity and donations. My channel and my work just could not exist without your help. If you'd like to support my channel, you can find the PayPal link down in the description below. Thank you again. Wish everyone a magical, dreamy, and ultimately romantic new moon. Until next time, bye for now.